Hey guys, welcome to the It's Just Wrestling YouTube channel. My name is Justin. Today I'll be going over my review and take on Wrestlemania 35. It was a long night. I think it was that event went like 7.5 hours or around there. 16 cards. Overall, Wrestlemania was actually a very feel-good card. So we're gonna dive right into it. The event started off with the Cruiserweight title match, which is Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. I had Tony Nese winning, and he did in fact win. It looks like they're going to run with Tony Nese being the babyface of 205 Live. Overall, a good match. You know what to expect from the Cruiserweights already. Even though they're on the pre-show, they always deliver. And yeah, it was a really good match. Tony Nese is your new Cruiserweight champion, and I look forward to see what he's going to do on the 205 brand to help bring in this new title reign. Second match was the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal match, and I actually had Lacey Evans winning this, but she didn't show up for this match, surprisingly. But the surprise winner that I did not think that was going to win was Carmella. I see what this win does for her. It actually came down to Asuka, Sarah Logan, and Sonya Deville. Sarah Logan actually eliminated Asuka, and everybody thought Sarah Logan was going to win, but Carmella had stood outside. She was never eliminated, and she eliminated Sarah Logan at the last second to win that Battle Royal. So let's see what this does for her. Let's see if this gives her a push towards the Women's Championship. But with what happened on Raw, and I'll get into that when I do my Raw and SmackDown review together. But yeah, Carmella wins your WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal match, and we'll see where this leads her. Hopefully it goes somewhere. They actually let this Women's Battle Royal mean something. They didn't really do anything with Naomi when she won this, so we'll see. The next match on the card was the Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. This match was made up on the fly a couple days ago, right before WrestleMania. So I didn't know where it was going to fall on the card, but I had a feeling it was going to fall on the pre-show. This match was pretty okay. What was this? The Revival was dominating a lot, but the ending came when Kurt Hawkins caught the roll-up for the 1-2-3, breaking his losing streak and winning the tag team champions away from the Revival, and they are your new Raw tag team champions. It sucks that it came at the hands of the Revival. I don't know if this is punishment for, making it public that they're not happy, and with the discomfort, with the rumors coming about that they wanted to leave, and with, the tweets with certain, with the Young Bucks and stuff like that. We'll see where exactly this leads to, but with what happened on Raw, again, I'll stress that in the next video I do for the Raw and SmackDown review. But as of now, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are your Raw champions, and hopefully, they go on a little run. I think they definitely deserve it. They've been there. Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder did have a push when they were with when they were part of Edge's stable and the Edgeheads. So why not give them another run? I think they deserve it. I think these are some people. It's a good way to bring people that are underutilized to the forefront, and at least they get a little bit of shine out of it. It did suck that it comes at the hands of the Revival. I do like the Revival. I think they're one of the best tag teams in the world when given the chance. They proved that in NXT. So we'll see where this goes and where this leads them. Hopefully, they could work out something. If not, if they want to try out AEW or New Japan, there's a lot of good tag teams out in the world. So we'll see. The next match on the card, on the last one of the pre-show, was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This one was okay, really didn't do anything for me. Braun Strowman won. I had Braun winning. This really focused around the two SNL guys. Kind of forgot their names, but it is surrounded around them. It actually came down to Braun Strowman and them two. Braun Strowman eliminated them for the win. But yeah, this gimmick match, I know it's a gimmick match, but this was supposed to meant to propel certain people and use these to, I guess, kind of like forefront new talent. And the same thing happened in the Women's Battle Royal. You saw Kairi Sane and you saw Candice LeRae in it. Usually I was hoping to get them a little bit more offense in, but they didn't really do much, which sucked. This was a good chance to showcase certain talent that like are NXT to get them a little push if they're planning to push them on the main roster or bring them up to the main roster. But there was none of that in any of the battle royals. So not much to do here. Braun Strowman won. But yeah, let's see where this leads him. I don't think it's gonna lead anywhere to me personally, but we'll see. Braun Strowman seems to be still over. I just don't know if they have any storylines put in front of him with what happened on Raw. Maybe there's we get a Lars Sullivan versus Braun Strowman feud, but we'll see. So we go on to the main card, and surprisingly, the main card opened up with Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title match. Paul Heyman came out and said, if my client isn't going to be the main event, we're not going to be waiting here. So we're going to do this right now. This match left a little bit, for me, left it to be a little bit more desired. It was a typical, Brock Lesnar match, Brock German suplexes, all that. The ending came with Seth Rollins pushing Brock Lesnar into the ref. Seth Rollins hit a low blow and hit 3 curb stomps for the win, and he's your new Universal title champion. This match, I think, I get why they did it, and I get the placing of each major title match because you had 3 baby faces, and then you had to that's too much for the crowd to eat up all at once or back to back or right after each other. So I like the spacing of what they did with the matches in terms of the major matches. I was just expecting a little bit more from this match. But nonetheless, the right person won. Seth deserved to win. He put in so much work this year. Also, it's good to have somebody who's full-time actually show up with the belt so the belt can mean something. And yeah, I'm over Brock Lesnar. I don't really care for Brock Lesnar, to be honest. But yeah. The next match that we go into is AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. I had AJ Styles winning. Now, this match was another match that, for me, left a little bit more to be desired. It never really fully got off. It felt more like a main event on SmackDown, like a really good match, but it just never took it to the next level where I thought it was going to go. And it was a decent match. These dudes could put on a match. I just don't think either with time constraints and that they weren't allowed to, or what the case may be. I'm not too sure. But AJ Styles picked up the victory. We're good to go. The next match on the card was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match, and it was the Usos taking on The Bar, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, and Aleister Black and Ricochet. I had Aleister Black and Ricochet winning, but the Usos actually picked up the win on this one. It was a really, really good match, really fun, fairly short but fast-paced, had a ton of spots to go through. It was just overall fun. My guess is that the Usos winning is that they're going to do a feud with the Hardys. They teased it in one of their promos leading up to WrestleMania, but they never really capitalized on it. But it makes sense because the Hardy Boys are the only team that they haven't faced, and it's been a dream match for a lot of people to see that match. So hopefully they do it soon. Maybe it leads up to Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and maybe we get a ladder match or a TLC match involving the Usos, the Hardy Boys, Aleister Black, and Ricochet for the titles. I think that would be a hell of a match. I know the Hardy Boys are a little up in age, but I think that may be their final send-off, and maybe to even put over Usos as one of the best. They already are one of the best tag teams in the world, but to solidify that would be great. The next match on the card was the Falls Count Anywhere match between Shane McMahon and The Miz. I actually had The Miz winning, but Shane McMahon came out on top on this one. Over luck, it was the finishing spot we'll get into. Overall, the match was really, really fun for a Falls Count Anywhere match. Had a great spot with Miz's father coming into the ring and trying to square up with Shane McMahon. Really funny. Shane McMahon took him out quick. The Miz really, really sold and was the baby face of this match. There was a huge spot where they were on this, I guess the international announce team area, and Miz hit Shane with a monitor, and he flung himself off the area that they were in. And I guess he was supposed to land on the top of a golf cart. He hit the top of the golf cart, but fell 6 feet onto pure concrete. The bump was insane. The ending came with when Miz suplexed Shane off this this, I don't know what to call it, but it was like where they had the camera set up, but it was pretty high. It was like 10 feet off the ground, and it was surrounded by this. Well, they break their fall. It was like a wood area, almost like when Shane jumped off like the Titantron onto Big Show. That little thing. But after Miz suplex Shane off that, the way it was positioned, Shane McMahon actually landed on top of Miz. They were both knocked out, so the referee had an easy 1-2-3, making Shane your winner. I thought this was going to be the conclusion of the feud, but it looks like with this win, since it's not a decisive win, the feud is going to keep going. I'm hoping it ends soon so the Miz could climb up the ranks and enter the main event scene, because he definitely deserves it, but we'll see. The next match on the card was the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match, and it was the team of the Boston Hug Connection versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya versus Nia Jax and Tamina versus the Iconics. I actually had Boston Hug Connection winning, Sasha and Bayley, because they were going to defend the titles in NXT. They didn't do it. I figured they'd keep the belts on the baby faces just to keep that momentum going on the belts to give it more meaning. But they actually dropped the belts to the Iconics. This was the first surprise win of the night for the event, and I'm not mad at it. I'm actually a fan of the Iconics. Some people may disagree, but they are the only true tag team there and I think they deserve it. Their characters, I actually like their characters, and I think they haven't been given the chance to actually show what they could do in the ring. Beth Phoenix and Natalya, as they were a tag team in the past, I don't think Beth Phoenix is going to be on a full-time schedule to be defending these belts, and these belts are brand new, so they need to be shown on TV as much as they can and be defended as much as they can. So I'm not mad that the Iconics won. Since I'm a fan, I'm just surprised that they didn't go with the keep it on the Boston Hug Connection. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll see where this goes and where the feud goes from here, and who are the next team to step in line for to the Iconics for the belts. The next match on the card was the WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston and the new Daniel Bryan. This was my favorite match of the night, by far the best match of the night, and it was a really good match, back and forth. The near falls were great. They did, from my knowledge, they did give away who was gonna win because WWE put up a shirt, and we'll get to that at the end. But there were so many good moments. It started off very technical. They were both reversing everything. What I liked a lot about this match was that Daniel Bryan kept catching Kofi Kingston in reversals, and not just normal reversals. It was like in the air reversals into submissions, really working his body and showing how good Daniel Bryan is technically. The ending came with Kofi Kingston hitting Trouble in Paradise for the win, and the pop was insane. That moment was insane. It's probably one of the best. It's going to go down as one of the best WrestleMania moments in history. Had his kids come in. They unveiled the old belt that was, that Daniel Bryan threw away. Put it on Kofi. It was just an overall great moment. Probably one of the loudest pops of the night, and definitely one that the fans were really into. The next match we got was the United States Championship match. It was Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Now, this is just a quick match. It was literally a squash match. Samoa Joe won with the Coquina Clutch. And I think the reason behind this is with the time constraints, because at this point they were already, by the time this came on, it was 10, I think. The match itself was, super quick. It was nothing to worry about. But also, I think the reason why it went so quick is because I don't think Rey Mysterio was fully recovered. He had sprained his ankle or injured his ankle on the Raw previous, and they said he was cleared, but I don't think he was fully cleared. So those are my possible reasons for Samoa Joe winning so quickly. But I had Samoa Joe winning anyways. This just solidifies Samoa Joe as a monster heel and somebody who can reign for a long time with this belt. The next match we had was the Roman Reigns-Drew McIntyre match. I had Roman Reigns winning this for obvious reason. I don't think they were going to make him lose. This was his first WrestleMania back, first singles match back since defeating leukemia. So, that was it. Roman Reigns for the win. Match was nothing special. Had its moments. ending came with Roman Reigns hit the spear on Drew McIntyre for the win. The next match was a no-holds-barred match between Triple H and Batista. If Batista won, Triple H had to retire. And this match went on really long for the time slot that it was in. And these dudes aren't young anymore. Batista's 50, Triple H is nearing 50. It was insane the bumps that they took on this match. Batista took a hell of a powerbomb on some steps that he just bounced off. He took a announce table spot. They were really going physical for this match, and for people their age, I gotta give them credit. They're definitely in shape, but that the match was pretty brutal. Ending came when Ric Flair distracted Batista, and then threw a sledgehammer towards Triple H. Triple H hopped off the steel steps that were in the ring and just knocked him with the sledgehammer and hit the pedigree for the 1-2-3. I enjoyed this match. I think it went on a little too long for my opinion, but overall it was a good match. It was an entertaining match. Triple H won. I never really had any doubt because, Batista was never going to come back full time, and Triple H has to still do Saudi Arabia events because he always does. And I think there's going to be something down the line where Triple H does retire, and it will be against somebody who he wants to put over. The next match is the Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle match, which was supposed to be Angle's farewell match. This match didn't really do anything for me. The surprising is that I thought this was going to be a bit where, John Cena was going to come out. John Cena did come out, but it was for a totally different thing that I'll mention at the end of the video. Baron Corbin actually won this match. I think it left a lot of sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. Kurt Angle just deserved better than this. It didn't really sit right with a lot of people, including myself. But Baron Corbin for the win. I know this was probably to make him a monster heel and get him heat, but I don't. When the crowd it's not the heat that you want. People don't want to boo you because you're a good bad guy, or they just don't want you to no, this is not what we want. Kurt Angle deserves something better. It's wrong heat that they put on Baron Corbin. But we'll see where this leads to. The next match on the card was the Intercontinental Championship match between the Demon Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley. I had Finn Balor winning because he was going to be in the Demon persona. The Demon persona doesn't lose this, and that was the case. The match was nothing crazy. At this point, the crowd were so dead from Kofi winning the Triple H match, and then being deflated from the Baron Corbin defeating Kurt Angle. It was already pushing 11 at this point, 11:30 around there, I think, or close to 12. The crowd was dead for this. They didn't really pop for anything. But the Finn Balor hit the coup de grace, and that was it. He's a two-time Intercontinental Championship, and that's it. There wasn't really nothing more to this match. The next match is the main event, which was the triple threat women take-all match between Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. I did enjoy the match. I think, yes, you can argue that it was fairly botchy, but I think it felt, for me, I think the match was, they wanted to rush through the match just because at this point, by the time the match started, it was 12:15. I think this went on for another 40 minutes, 30 minutes around there, so it was close to 1 o'clock in the morning by the time everything was said and done. So I think with time, it being so over time and nerves being the first women in the main event, I think it got to them, and then they were trying to rush to certain spots. I feel like I'm not gonna take away from the match. I'm not trying to make the match sound bad because it wasn't. It was a fairly physical match, and I really, really liked it. It's just that the ending came abrupt that might have taken away from the match and made it special. But credits to all women involved because they all deserve this. They worked their ass off for this, and I think it's the right thing that they main evented WrestleMania. The right person won. Becky Lynch won. The crowd were just firmly behind Becky the entire time. Even though the finish was abrupt, A lot of people claim that it was botched, that it was supposed to happen. I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna get into it. But as of right now, Becky Lynch is your winner. So it was the right call. She was supposed to win. It was too much work put involved in this for her not to win. But yeah, and congrats to Becky. I had her winning. So out of 16 matches, I called 11 of them right, which is pretty cool. Another cool moment that happened at WrestleMania, Elias was doing his bit, and this Babe Ruth like visionette came on, and what was really cool, like I didn't know what it was, and then John Cena came out, but John Cena didn't just come out. John Cena came out as the Doctor of Thugonomics and did a little battle rap to Elias, and it was just, I popped for it. I'm not the most, like, I respect John Cena, but I'm not the biggest fan of John Cena, but I popped for that. That was a really good moment. Overall, this was one of the most feel-good WrestleManias that I've seen in a very long time, and all the right people who were supposed to win won. And yeah, I can't really knock it. I just think it was too long. 7 hours, 7.5 hours is a long time. I know they want to get everybody on the card, but you could do away with the battle royal. Nobody cares for that match. It doesn't do for anything. You know, there's certain bits where like it's just not needed. And I think that 7.5 hour runtime really killed the crowd. Really killed the crowd. Like, even like at the main event, even though you heard the Becky chants, they weren't as loud as they could have been. And I don't fault the crowd, because sitting there for 7.5 hours is a lot. It really is a lot. But overall, I'm not gonna complain about this WrestleMania. I thought it was really good. But yeah, as for the best event, Takeover by far, match for match, was just overall great. So I try not to compare NXT and main roster because they like to keep them as separate identities. But if I had to, Takeover by a mile takes the cake in terms of wrestling. Even they had their feel good moments with the Ricochet and the Black send off, and the Johnny Gargano win. But I will say that seeing Kofi win, Seth Rollins win, and Becky win, really did. WrestleMania had the better feel good moments, and that meant more. But yeah, that's my take on WrestleMania 35, guys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Thanks. I'll be coming with a Raw and SmackDown review later on this week. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.